Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. My name is Jesse Milestone, and before we get into the meat of today's video, I'm once again pleased to announce that this video is sponsored by Balladeer's blog. You can find them on glitternight.com. That's glitter like the sparkly stuff, and night like the opposite of day. .com. It's a fantastic blog with everything from nonpartisan politics to comic books, movie reviews, pop culture, even mythology. You can find it all at Balladeer's blog, and it always takes a strictly nonpartisan stance. If it examines political issues, it fairly examines both sides. And right now on the front page, you can see a review of Ethan Van Sciver's Cyberfrog, as well as a link to that Star Wars girl's more in-depth review on her channel. So this guy is a wonderful supporter of our work and is now supporting this work even more by sponsoring this video. And so you guys should all reward that wonderful support by supporting him in turn, because that's what we all do. We support each other. It's nice. Anyway, so visit glitternight.com to check out Balladeer's blog. Some really, really great, fascinating, well-written pieces there. You'll learn a lot from it, and make sure you give it a follow. You can click the little follow button down at the bottom, drop your email address so you never miss any of the exciting new articles. And it's cool because you can even set your alerts to only get alerted, daily or weekly, or you can get every single new article as it comes out, so you're not constantly bombarded, but you never miss anything new from Balladeer's blog, so definitely check that out. Anyway, so today, we're here to discuss the controversy and the greater implications from said controversy surrounding Rambo Last Blood. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I have not seen this movie yet. I have not seen it, but I have read myriad criticisms of said film, enough to very clearly inform the information I'm about to deliver to you, as well as have talked to some people personally who've seen it, people who I choose opinions I trust, like Jeff from World Class Bullshitters. Shockingly, I talked to Jeff and trust his opinion. Weird. So weird. Anyway, so what I've learned distinctly and clearly from reading all of these reviews and understanding really why this movie has sparked such controversy, I've learned unequivocally that the only people in the world who do evil things are white men. Therefore, it is only fair to ever depict white men doing evil things. It's completely racist and prejudiced to depict anybody other than a white man committing a violent act, committing any kind of crime, doing anything awful, right? And so Rambo Last Blood is clearly a controversial racist film because it depicts a violent Mexican drug cartel. The premise of the film is Rambo's got some adopted daughter or whatnot who goes back to Mexico to find her real dad and gets kidnapped by a cartel, sex slavery ensues, etc., etc. Very Taken-esque premise where he has to go down there and slaughter the whole cartel, to get her back and whatnot. And that's just really wrong and messed up and supremely racist even show Mexican drug dealers. Because let's face it, Mexicans have clearly been, the recipients of undue criticism and unnecessary prejudice due to, the cartels, which may or may not actually exist in Mexico. It could all just completely be right-wing propaganda. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, Wikipedia says that the cartel is responsible for roughly 115,000 deaths between 2007 and 2018, but I don't know. I mean, it just all sounds like propaganda to me, because clearly Wikipedia is a right-wing site that's just totally owned by conservatives. Obviously, to show. And that's the whole thing, right? Look, maybe the cartels do exist. Maybe they are real. Maybe it's not just a boogeyman story made up by the American government to scare us. Maybe Mexican drug cartels are real. But the reality is that's not the majority of Mexicans. So it's really, really horribly unfair to really make it feel like you're representing an entire culture based solely on the fact that there are some bad apples. And when you look at white men, let's face it, the vast majority of all white men who aren't gay, obviously, are just pure evil. Are just completely cruel, evil, potential rapists or actual rapists. Let's face it, most white men have probably raped. And if they haven't, they're potential rapists, so that kind of puts them in the evil category anyway. So clearly, all white men are just bad, evil, terrible human beings, and we can only depict violence against them in movies. To do anything else would be totally wrong. And you know what? Why stop there? Why stop at the movies? Practice what you preach, people. Live by your words. Send your daughters unsupervised to Mexico. Because Mexico is full of Mexicans. Mexicans are people of color. Therefore, if your daughters are surrounded entirely by people of color, they will be 100% safe because only white men do evil things. Obviously. This is so clear. Please let your family members go unsupervised to any country in the world. And while you're at it, forget it right here in this country. Just feel comfortable knowing that if you are walking around in a neighborhood that is full of minorities, you are safe. It doesn't matter where the neighborhood is or what the neighborhood is. Minorities are not white men, and therefore they never do evil things. So it doesn't matter the quality of the neighborhood, you will be safe. You'll be much safer walking around Compton than you will Beverly Hills, because as everybody knows, Beverly Hills is full of white people, and white people are inherently bad. So never mind the crime rate statistics, those are clearly all just made up by evil right-wing politicians, because, you know, clearly Los Angeles is totally controlled by them. So yeah, just ignore all the crime statistics. Go to Compton, go to East LA, go to Inglewood, go to all of these places. Find the primarily Mexican neighborhoods. Find the primarily black neighborhoods. Walk around in all of those places. You will be 100% safe. Walk around in Beverly Hills, you are almost sure to get kidnapped and stabbed and raped and killed. And that's just the reality. You know, yeah, there are like a couple of white guys who are not going to do that to you, but the reality is the vast majority of them will. And minorities never will. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you go, because minorities will never ever do bad, or they are inherently more virtuous than other people because of the color of their skin. This is how life works. Isn't that what Martin Luther King said? Judge people not by, you know, being white, but by not. Judge people fairly who are not white. That's what he said. It was something like that. I'm having trouble remembering the exact wording, but it was something like, judge not by facts or statistics or, you know, content of your character. Judge solely by the color of your skin. If you're white, you're evil. If you're not, you're good. That's what Martin Luther King said, right? Like, I'm paraphrasing, but I'm pretty sure he said that. And so if he said it, and, you know, he was one of the great peacemakers of our time, and by the way, not white, everything he said is correct. Every single incarcerated person who is of color is obviously innocent and being unfairly stereotyped against. That's obviously what's happening here, because it's an all or nothing game, guys. Look, people aren't individuals. They can't be held individually accountable for their actions. They cannot be judged individually on the things they do. They have to only be judged based on those macro qualities, based on whatever group they belong to. And if they belong to a minority group, they are by default innocent, okay? And if they do commit a crime, which happens occasionally, it's not their fault. It's the fault of the circumstances in which they were raised. You know, even if a wealthy young black woman were to commit a crime, and having grown up affluent and with great privilege, were to commit a crime, it's not her fault, because the thing is, she never had white privilege. So she's inherently been discriminated against her entire life by everybody else, because every other white person, in spite of maybe not having the opportunities that she's been given based on her socioeconomic status, by being white, they've automatically had more opportunities and an easier life than her. So if she goes out and commits a crime, it's really not her fault. And you have to forgive her, and that should be the case in the eyes of the law. Skin color absolutely should be a determining factor in the eyes of the law, and not in this horrible, evil, racist way that it's been implemented for gajillions of years. No. If you're a person of color, you should just be declared innocent officially, and that's it. That's all it is. Erase these horrible propaganda statistics. There's never been an evil act or a crime committed truly done by a person of color, by a woman who isn't white. You know, white women are occasionally evil. You know, they're almost as evil as men. Like, if they're not uber feminists and allies, then they're just the basis of evil on this earth. Clearly, that's what we learned. If you read the critics of Rambo: Last Blood, this is exactly the message you'll come away with. Everybody that we cannot have any enemies, any bad guys represented as people of color, irrespective of how factually accurate any of these accounts might be, irrespective of the fact that the Mexican drug cartels are some of the vicious, most brutal gangs that exist in North America. No. It does not matter, because they're not represented in the majority population. Therefore, we can't show any bad, because obviously, you know, committing crimes against people in movies, killing people in movies, in mindless action films, is clearly an indictment of the entirety of Mexican culture. Obviously. If we kill Mexicans in a film, we're clearly spreading a message that we hate all Mexicans. How utterly tone deaf of the filmmakers to make a film depicting the Mexican drug cartel as the enemy in a time when immigration is such a hot button issue. How dare they? How dare they just make a mindless movie, and instead of, killing Afghanis or Vietnamese this time, let's just pick a different group of color to kill. Never mind the fact that Rambo has always had this sort of maverick anti-authoritarian, overtones to the film and to his character. Never mind that there are women of color who feature prominently in this film, Latino women who feature prominently in this film. Never mind all of those things, because the reality is you're depicting violence against non-white people, and that's just evil, because only white people are evil, and only white people would ever, do things like kill innocent people. That's my takeaway. That's my, those are my feelings. Those are my thoughts. God, this started to really feel like Social Justice Wednesday video. I hope you could feel the sarcasm dripping a little more heavily this time, so no one's going to confuse this. It's not Wednesday yet. That's tomorrow. Anyway, there's going to be a bunch of links that I want you to click at the end, but one more time, guys, check out Balladeer's blog. I can't say that enough. You guys know I would never accept an endorsement for something I did not believe in. I've read some of this guy's stuff. It's really excellent. It's quality material. It's nonpartisan. It's very balanced, and he's definitely a fan of the Fandom Menace, so he's got some great stuff in there, that's very much up your alley. If this is up your alley, that guy's gonna be up your alley. So it's glitternight.com, glitter like the sparkles, night like what happens when it's not daytime, .com, and make sure you give him a follow, because same way you'd click subscribe, it takes one more step. You just gotta punch in your email address and then confirm it, and that's it. And you'll be subscribed. You'll never miss any of the updates from glitternight.com. It's Balladeer's blog. Check them out. Click on all my links. There's LA cheesesteak reviews. Awesome new channel that I'm working on with my fellow Philly transplants, trying to find a decent cheesesteak in LA, largely failing, hilarity ensues. And then don't forget to click on Get Involved with Me. That will get you in touch with all of my awesome links, so you can help this channel, help support this channel. If you want to see it grow, you can do Patreon, PayPal, Teespring, amazing designs for Teespring on there. New ones coming very, very soon, as well as my business email. If you have a sponsorship opportunity or anything else you'd like to get in touch with me about, that's right there as well. You can also follow me on Instagram at Mindless Entertainment, on Twitter at Jesse Milestone. Make sure you're following at Team Jesse on Twitter as well. That's the official Jesse fan club run by someone who is not me, as well as at Mindless Enter, to make sure that all of the Jesse accounts you follow are in fact verified. That's your parent account for all of those. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. You are the best. Couldn't ask for a better fan base. God Empress out.